okay. We're going in a circle because if for example, if my partner comes into the room, it's about our choice to react to the situation. That there's a pre-programmed set of instructions in your head that react negatively to this person entering the room. You said you felt pressure. On a universal scale of things, it doesn't matter that he walked into that room. That's not your fault. That's your parents' fault for not understanding their job as parents properly. Um, and but it is something that you have to manage. We all have problems that were not created by us, but that we have to manage. It's about you. It's got nothing to do with him and authority. It's about you. It's about your reaction. It's about your choice to not express more. In that kind of situation, now of course, obviously, I wasn't there and I can't be there, and all I can do is imagine it within my head. But there's an opportunity to open a dialogue there to see a bigger picture. And I know that I know that's maybe not interesting for other people, but it's my feeling from our conversation that this is necessary for you. So you're not telling the truth for them. You're not telling the truth for the authority. You're telling the truth for you, so that you can feel better. It's difficult to do it every single time, but you can get closer to it.
Mm.
Like any activity. So I'm learning to play the drums right now. I like to challenge myself with different activities that extend my skills or abilities or that are a challenge for me. And most of the time I get it wrong. Okay? I don't have a natural sense of rhythm. Most of the time I get it wrong. But I'm getting there. Right? It's not right every time. I got notes in the wrong places and my rhythm is out, and I feel like an octopus on a beach ball or something. I'm kind of all over the place. But I'm getting there, and it doesn't matter to it doesn't matter to the world, but it matters to me that I give myself this little challenge and make these little steps. And what it's about is it's about training the brain to react in a certain way. And one of the good things about it is the don't panic thing, right? Because obviously when you're playing drums, you start to panic. The whole song is destroyed. If you're playing guitar or bass or singing, you can kind of do something different. You're playing the drums and you panic. It just goes. So it's about sort of learning those elements of self-control and focus and course correction and keeping things moving. And there's no way you get it right all the time, especially when it's not natural for you. But we can train ourselves to be ready. And it doesn't come instantly or easily. The same way that having a discussion with a client is something that evolves. Not every discussion is perfect. Not everything works out exactly the way that I want it. But I try to prepare myself mentally for anything coming my way. And I try to breathe and think and reason through the elements. And part of that is, how does that begin? It begins with understanding where we are. Somebody walks into the room, you're in the middle of teaching, and they're like, oh, how is this and how is that? Look, They're not stupid. They know it's confusing. They're probably doing it because it's confusing for you. They're probably doing it so they don't get an honest answer. They're probably doing it to make your life uncomfortable. They're probably they're probably just doing it to be a pain, right? But it's our choice whether or not we choose to join in with their game. And for me, the way to react would be to take a step back and say, we're in the middle of something. You're supposed to let me know in advance. Arg. Right? It is so important to you that things work out right, that you're putting this pressure on yourself to make it all work, when everything that it needs to work is already there. You don't need anything more than the skills you already have and the experience you already have to do your job fantastically. But what you do need to do sometimes, I think, is maybe what helps me, which is to breathe and take a step back and realize where I am. And if I'm not sure how to communicate with a client, or there's a difficult question, I think about where I am and what's happening around about me and my experiences recently, where I've been, what I've seen. Talking about drums, okay? I had no plan to talk about drums in the conversation, but I'm happy to talk about it because it's authentic and it feeds in to what it is that we're doing. And everybody wants to panic like it's the end of the world if something is not perfect. I think the secret is to realize that the world is going to end whether we're here or not, and not worry about that. I think the authenticity element is key. That the pressure builds up when we're not authentic, and we're not authentic when we always have to keep up our guard and worry about the authority. And as you said, your brain is trained to be almost obedient to authority. But the truth is that by doing that, you erase the part of yourself that you need to express. And it's much more important to find yourself than it is to find the authority. It's not about being independent. It's about being authentic. It's about being able to express the fact that you are unhappy about something without criticizing it. You can say that you don't like something without criticizing it. I can say that I don't like chocolate ice cream. It doesn't mean chocolate ice cream is bad. And sometimes you need to explain that to people because they don't understand. Oh, what have you got against chocolate ice cream? I don't have anything against chocolate ice cream. I just prefer vanilla. It's like people need that explained to them. It's sad that we have to put that out there, but we do, because people will read, oh, you don't like this, so this is bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen carefully. I have preferences. It's okay, and hey, I have a right to preferences because I'm over 40 years old, right? And I've got some experience, and I can talk about my experience, and I can be authentic. I can be authentic about myself and what I'm good at, and what I'm bad at, and what works and what doesn't work, and what I like and what I don't like, and I can laugh at myself because you have to, because you've got to take the work seriously, but not to the point where you can't be you. There's the rational element and the emotional element. And rationality is the process that you can see. Emotions are the patterns of your past representing themselves in the present. And we can, through understanding the situation, we can begin to work on that emotional response, because to be able to live our lives successfully, we've got to separate ourselves from we've got to separate ourselves from negative emotional patterns. Obviously, our brains have been set up to have some kind of trigger in some kind of situations, um, and it manifests itself as as pressure and negativity and bad feelings within ourselves. Um, but we've got to focus on understanding that that we can't let that affect the way we live our lives. We can't let that affect our future. We can't live the whole rest of our lives worried or even just having negative emotional responses to other people's opinions about things.
Mm-hmm.
We won't get very far, and we won't be as productive as we can, and as able to help people, as much able to help people as we can. The quest for acceptance is not as important as the quest for yourself. You want to be accepted by these people. You want to be accepted by this student. You want to be understood by the student.